And we're live. Here we go. All right. This is the Comic Nerd Podcast, Episode 2. I'm James Drake.
I'm Seth Penn.
I'm Steven Lopez. I'm a nerd.
I just wandered in here.
Well, today we're going to talk about a few pretty cool things. One of the things that we're going to mainly talk about today is we're going to talk a lot about the brand new Star Wars trailer. Has everybody had a chance to watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After an extravagant search, it was found and it was viewed.
Yeah, I think that I actually watched it on the football game. I actually got the chance to sit down and actually watch the halftime real quick and watch it. You know, sat down with Stephanie and we sat and we recorded it and watched it. We shared a little tear together. It was a good moment.
That's cute.
Okay, so what I think we should do is we should just watch it together. I'm going to share it on the screen here. Most everybody has already had a chance to see it. I think we can share it on here, and then we can kind of throw in and interject a few comments as we go through it, and then we'll break it down after that. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right.
A little dangerous, but good.
Hey, danger is what we're here for, right?
It's my middle name somewhere in there.
I
Right.
think if you rearrange the letters of my name, it spell Mr. Danger.
It is Mr. Danger.
All right, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and share this, and then we'll play it from there. This is Ray, right?
Yeah, it's gotta be.
I like how it's introducing each of the characters, like where they're at.
Right, yeah. I mean, it gives you a little context where they're coming from. Just more questions are raised. Where is he from?
So badass.
It is.
Dude.
The Mind Melt!
The Millennium Falcon.
It's gonna be a cool
That's
scene.
gonna be so much fun.
It's so
Dude, and the Return of the X-Wing.
Yeah, I mean,
It's so awesome.
It's great. I mean, these battles look like they're gonna be.
That is
epic.
so.
Right. All the different battles too, like out in space, back down in the snow desert wasteland that you're used to.
Right. Oh man, that's gonna be so tense. You see how he just
At the end.
I'm just like, oh god. I mean, I would do the same thing if I were still there and not running away.
You know, there's so much there. When I first watched it, I was a little disappointed because I didn't see anything that I thought. At first, when at first glance, I didn't think I saw any new characters. Like I just saw everybody. You know, I had the confirmation that Leia wasn't dead. I mean, that was something that was floating around the blogosphere for a while, and
All right.
and I'm starting to wonder, like, you know, just how much of what we know or what we don't know is just misinformation, you know, perpetrated by Mr. Abrams himself. And
Yeah.
I mean, like a perfect example is when you look at trailers like this and you haven't actually seen a movie, I would like to think that there's sometimes that you see things and because you don't know any other context except for the trailer itself, you make assumptions. Like for example,
Yeah.
that part where Rey is crying, it looks like she's crying over a Wookiee. I mean,
Right. That's what you had said before to me.
yeah, the very first thing I'm thinking of is just, obviously, something bad happens to Chewie, and
Right. Well, and like I had said to you, I mean, there seems to be a lot of influences that they draw from the books, and in the books, Chewbacca dies. But I mean, it's like a planet drops on him, so I don't think she'd be crying all over him if a planet dropped on him.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But still, death.
Right, death. He's very definitely dead in the books, and maybe we should probably do this right now. Those of you who haven't read the books or don't want to be part of any speculation of Star Wars, this probably isn't your podcast right now.
Probably not.
It's already too late.
It's already too late. You watched the trailer with us, and we just told you that Chewie's probably dead.
Right.
And
for those of you who don't know, it's a very noble death. He sacrifices himself.
Right.
And very sad.
And I hazard a guess that by the end of the trilogy of these new books, every one of the original cast members, movies, sorry, every one of the cast members are going to be dead. Original ones.
That's completely fine. It's the natural flow of the story. After you introduce all these new characters, it's only best that they take over the mantle, and you just move away from these characters. And if they die, then that's how they get away from it.
Well, right. But I mean, you're not going to be able to have certain people be on the cast after they die. I mean, for much longer. I mean, Harrison Ford, he's 75 years old. I mean, he's not going to be able to do these movies forever.
Right.
He can only be badass for so long.
Very true. But I mean, at the same time, I don't think they go like, well, he's probably gonna die, so we're just gonna kill you if that's cool with you, because we think you're gonna die in real life.
Well, like what was it? Like 3 months after. 3 months after he stopped filming, he crashes his plane on a golf course in California, and goes to the hospital. It's like, dude. I'm sure glad we're writing you out of the script as we speak right now. So
immediately.
That's not. Dude, that's not because he's old. It's because he's crashing a plane.
It's just like maybe he's trying to do like a barrel roll like he does with the Millennium Falcon, his little Cessna plane, and he's like, oh, fuck.
You know what? Maybe it is old age because he gets Alzheimer's and it's just like, I don't know what to do a barrel roll. And then he crashed.
He truly believes he's Han Solo now. Like he's just, I'm giving up. I'm just.
Star Fox.
Thinking about that, there's a fan theory for you. Star Fox.
All right, so let's talk a little bit more about the trailer stuff. Now, in particular, the thing I'm really interested about is the character of Finn. Now, he starts out as a stormtrooper. We all know that. Right. But what's the crisis of faith that he seems to be having at the beginning of the movie? Is it, he says something really funny at the beginning, or not funny, interesting at the beginning, where he says, "I was born for one purpose." Like he had one purpose, and then I have nothing to fight for. Like, he was born and raised to be a stormtrooper. That's what I get from that. And at some point he realizes, oh God, this is not for me.
Yeah, I mean, it seems that he was in the battle of some sort and crashed. I mean, it kind of alludes to that TIE fighter was his. I mean, that may or not be true, but then you see a maroon, or seemingly maroon, on the planet. So, I don't know. Maybe he's, kind of one of those things that's left to die. It's disenfranchised. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just his character, I think, is going to be one of the more exciting ones in the new movies, just because it goes a little bit against type. You know, they're having somebody actually come from the dark side. Like, up until this point, anyone that fights for the Imperials has always been bad. It's always been a bad guy, you know. We never really talk about, like, the stormtroopers. They're like, you know, who are these people? And what, you know, where they come from? You know, I mean, seriously, like, these guys are just, you know, Darth Vader appointed in the first movies, and they went there and they tried to kill people, you know. There was no questioning orders or anything. You know, kind of interesting thing, just to go back to the first movies. And when I say first movies, I mean episode 3 through 5. Okay?
Yeah, the first created movies.
Right. What happened to the stormtroopers that they took and stole the suits from when they went into the Death Star? I mean, something happened to those guys. I mean, did they just get done murdering 2 people? And
they woke up unconscious.
Yeah.
And had to, like, relive their lives somehow, figure out something to do.
Right. Or are they stuffed still somewhere in the crannies of the Millennium Falcon, all folded up and shit, you know, inside of it? Like, what happened to those guys? Like, we never find out what happened to those 2 guys, you know? You know,
I don't know, man.
2 stormtroopers running around in their underwear. You're like, fuck, what happened? You know?
Shit.
And they don't want to.
Now they have their whole lives ahead of them. They can decide to do whatever they want. They go to Las Vegas and try to win a bunch of money, and maybe they're happy in the end.
They said to each other, "Okay, dude, we cannot report this that we got our suits stolen because you know what." We're going to get force choked for that shit.
Yeah, right.
This is the 3rd time.
Like, I guess we're just going to quit our job now and try to escape, you know. Let's hide.
A nice, humble escape pod. And try to just get as far out into space as we can before they figure out we're gone.
And according to Steven,
they're
going
going
to
go to...
Yeah.
We can finally run away. Get that little cottage we've always wanted.
And according to Steven, though, they're going to go to Vegas and have hookers and blow. You know, it's like, oh, well, I guess it's hookers and blow time.
And then they get
then they get the cottage and the farm.
Right.
Realize they always loved each other.
What I would love to do is I'd love to see somebody do some side stories about some of these people, the forgotten individuals in Star Wars, you know.
Just like little comics, just like a 30-second snippet of like just one guy just floating out into space slowly.
Yeah.
Like just what's going on in his head. Oh God, my ship exploded. What am I gonna do now? And then just...
Here we go. Or like those guys that you know, like the people that are all out of work now because Jabba the Hutt's dead. You know, like what do they do now? I mean, you know, fuck, Jabba the Hutt's dead. Got choked to death by a woman in a bikini.
Oh God.
All right. Okay.
I'd imagine that guy that has a snake thing around his. I don't know. This would go off the deep end.
All right.
Just jump into the Starlight pit.
Nothing to live for.
All right. So the other thing I thought was interesting about the trailers, we did get to see the new super weapon of some sort.
Right.
And obviously, you know, in the movie poster, you also see it. And it looks very much like the Death Star, but is this the famed Star Killer? The thing that sends like a star to supernova and it kills a whole, not just one planet, but a whole solar system.
Yeah, everything surrounding a star. I mean, they did scream out, "It's the Star Killer" in the trailer, so that's not something that would be unexpected.
Right.
It's very possible.
Right. So, at the end of this movie, where do you think? Okay, the other character that's really intriguing to me is Oscar Isaac's character, because
Right.
I don't know. I have a hard, like, within this trailer we see him under some sort of horrible psychic duress of some sort from Kylo Ren, and my question is, at the end of this movie, do you think he becomes that guy that's almost like the Lando Calrissian character? Somebody that's kind of a friend of the group or like a trusted person, and he turns on him in some way, maybe under duress in some way, and that becomes like a little longer thread throughout it, that he was once an ally, and then maybe a really powerful, a very good pilot that just turns on him in some fashion, maybe turns the tide against them.
I mean, it's possible. I like to think it's going to be more of a thing where, maybe they leave it off where they have to go save him, or, like something tragic happens and I don't know, mortally wounded. Because it seems like, I can't remember the name of the character. The guy that Kylo Ren is charging, holding the blue lightsaber. I think it's very possible that maybe he's not ready for that fight. Maybe something happens. I don't know. But I think I just personally don't want the pilot to be a bad guy, because he just got so much potential. But the actor that's portraying him has a lot of background in playing bad guys.
Right. I don't know. I think that one of the interesting things with the character, like Oscar Isaac is a favorite actor of mine. I mean, I really do enjoy him, and he's one of the few actors in the lineup that, in my opinion anyway, I guess kind of just seemed to be like an experienced actor of the new cast members anyway. I mean, I think that he's probably one of the more respected ones of the new cast members that were joined. I don't know. I'm kind of curious how they're going to use him, and it's I'm the conspiracy theorist. I of course automatically assume that everybody's up to no good. So
I mean, it doesn't stand out of the standard like Star Wars setup to have your hero, your woman of the movie, and so like he's gonna replace Han Solo. Let's be honest, and you don't want Han Solo to be the bad guy.
Right. No. Yeah. And there was a point where you didn't really know what you were going to get out of Han. In the first movie, you didn't really know, until he actually comes back. You think he's just going to kind of abandon, everybody there, and it's just going to be about Luke and Leia. And, I know. I thought that was kind of cool that they're trying to add some character depth to maybe that potential storyline. It'd be really interesting to see what happens with his character. The other thing I thought was really cool is there's a part where Kylo Ren lights his lightsaber. They're like in the rain or whatever, and there's like 3 or 4 other guys that look very similar to him, dressed like him. And I wonder if that's the hinted at Knights of Ren.
I would imagine that they would be. I mean, at the very least, there's some sort of elite guard that follows him.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that one of the things that has been debated about is that Kylo Ren is actually on a search for Force-sensitive individuals, and instead of killing them like Darth Vader did, he's recruiting them, and and starting this order called the Knights of Ren, or restarting it, as it were. So they're a little bit different than the Sith. So I'm kind of curious to hear a little bit more about that. I mean, there's just so much in this trailer that had my mind going a million different ways, and hoping that I could find something that would be definitive, but they're brilliant in how they put this shit together. So
they're professionals.
Yeah. Well, last thoughts on Star Wars. Is this going to be the biggest movie ever?
I mean, ever. That's
that's yeah. Too much.
I would definitely, in my opinion, it's definitely, I think, the top movie of the year.
So you don't think it's going to topple Avatar? I mean, come on now.
You got. I don't know, man.
They could try. They could put up a good run for it, but at the same time, they have so many things.
It's my personal opinion.
They really do. This movie this year will be amazing, but they're also going to try to make more of it. So I doubt they're going to throw everything they can into this movie. It's going to draw a lot of people back into it, and what they think they're going to do is try to make this a hurdling stone and make the second movie and better, so that they actually the second time will be the best movie. That will be the best movie.
Hey, Steve.
Because that will. Yeah.
Hey, Steven, maybe perhaps don't talk directly towards Seth. That's when we're getting some feedback, because now I'm hearing you bounce off through his microphone. Just a real quick program note, folks. We're doing this on the fly, so. And then maybe Seth, turn down your mic a little bit, because I can hear you great now. So.
He does have it at 50% because he likes to mumble.
Well, he's a mumbler.
Real quiet. It's because his voice sounds sexiest when he talks like this.
Well, that is, of course, his entire motivation for speaking at all, is to just sound sexy. So I guess on the end of it, I think that Star Wars, I think this trailer is really, really good. It was different than I expected. I thought it was going to be more of, the high-end action, but it really felt dark, and like they really were playing the emotional quotient for the movie throughout it. And I'm really excited for that, because I have a feeling that it's going to be more Empire than it is Star Wars or Jedi. And it's definitely not going to be the first, the next three. It's not going to be a kids movie. It's not going to be a kids movie. I think.
No.
We saw J.J. Abrams, what he did with Star Trek and The Edge of Darkness, and in those movies, and it's just, while he still has some of the whimsical moments and the humor and stuff like that necessary in there, he really played hard on the edgier, grittier side of Star Trek, in my opinion, with those movies.
Definitely.
So I'm really hopeful. I hope it goes more the direction of Empire, in my opinion. So, all right. That was my thing I wanted to bring to the table. Do you two have something that you want to talk about? Something you want to share? What's going on out there right now?
I definitely do. I recently came up to my observation that a new game is coming out that is called Far Cry Primal. Now, Far Cry is a franchise that's near and dear to both myself and Seth's hearts. I personally haven't played the first two, so I didn't get into it early enough to get to those two, unfortunately. I don't know. Seth, did you play any of the first two at all?
I remember I played the second one. I rented it. I don't really remember that much. I'm pretty sure that's the one where you can turn into a feral creature of sorts, genetically modified.
Right.
Related to it. I mean, I don't really have a lot of experience until I picked up the third one.
Yes, Far Cry 3. That was a great game. If people,
it was so good.
Far Cry is the type of game where it's putting you in a survival situation on the edge of existence. You're in some sort of far-out place. Far Cry 3, where it started, you were Jason Brody. You were just a kid out with his brother and friends having a good time, and in a skydiving incident, stranded on an island that's controlled by a pirate named Vaz, who's completely insane. And from there, your life turns a whole different direction as you try to fight for your life, essentially, and try to save your friends and get off this island and make decisions on whether you're going to go more primal, more to the warrior side, what the island is trying to push you towards, or if you're actually still going to keep focus and try to save your friends and get off the island.
Right. I'm sorry, I was playing with your... Hey, Seth.
Yes.
One more engineering note. I'm just playing with your mic settings on this end to try to reduce that feedback. As soon as I did, it was a lot clearer. So try to pull down your microphone a little bit more, or maybe angle it away from Steven, and that will help take care of that.
I think we're good now.
Okay, yeah, we are definitely good now. Okay, so when you talk, I don't hear you 3 times. So, all right.
So cool. Back to what we were saying. So Far Cry, the Edge of Existence survival game. After the third one, the fourth one was amazing. Karat being a Himalayan, Nepal-esque place that's under the control of pagan men. And it's just full of drugs and violence and religion, and what you do in Karat actually decides how it plays out. And the whole game is a first-person shooter, build your own weapons, go hunting for animals, surviving game. It tries to make it real gritty and makes the gameplay so much fun for people because they get to go out and survive in this big open world. Well, now coming up with Far Cry Primal, they are planning on placing it in the Stone Age.
Oh, nice.
Way back when man first started. Right. So you can imagine just walking out into this big open world. I believe they're calling it Oros. It's going to be covered in megafauna. So mammoths, saber-toothed tigers, giant rhinoceroses, boars.
Nice.
And you're just basically out there trying to survive against these animals, and create your own cut in the world, and take out other tribes that are going to try to take what you have. It's actually, it looks beautiful. I'm really excited for it.
Right on. Well, now, the question is that one of the things that happens in the Far Cry series, from what I've played of it, is that you slowly build up the ability to go from basic tools and such, and then you build up your technology to a point where you're using bows and guns and what have you based off of what you find. So
Absolutely.
In this particular case, I mean, it's not like you're going to be able to eventually make a weapon or anything, like a real weapon. You're still going to be doing spears and stuff.
Right. Yes. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be a lot more limited. You're not going to have guns, like actual ammunition and things like that. But what they are going to be introducing you to is you start out with stone and wood, and you make whatever weapons you can make with those items. And then as you go further along and you're able to kill creatures, you can actually use their bones and make different items. And so you can make stronger weapons out of a mammoth bone than you can out of just a piece of wood that you find.
Well, right.
And also, another big thing that they're going to have in there is using fire will make a big difference in your gameplay, because it's going to be the beginning of man. So fire's been something that you're supposed to use to move along. You use that to light torches, other weapons that you're going to fight with and cause more damage, and things like that. It looks really exciting. They're going to try to still make a lot of variety of weapons. You're just not going to be able to reach as highly lethal weapons as you were before.
Gotcha. The other thing is there magic? Is there any kind of magic component to the gameplay itself?
Every now and again.
It does have a mystic sense to it.
Okay.
It has times where you have essentially you have these tribal people who will have cracked into some sort of magic of the sense that give you more powers, or that's where the leveling essentially comes from. Is the fighting of the land. For example, in Far Cry 3, you had these tattoos that would appear on you as you leveled up, and you were able to do more things depending on different tattoos that you had for on there. Like there were 3 different animals, if I remember correctly, that you could go through. Not going to get into the details, but like the mystic of the land sometimes ends up just being the leveling up for your character.
Okay, all right. Now, Seth, you played the first one, right?
No.
Oh, which one did you play? Did you play any of them? I thought you did play.
Yes.
Which one did
he
you
played
play?
the second one.
I played a little bit of the second. And then I was the one that played the third one. Or I got the third one. I don't know if Steven had played it before, but I know that we played it together. And then we were both fans of it, and we got the fourth.
Gotcha. So when does this come out? When's the game coming out?
The 23rd of February.
Okay.
So we got a little wait for it still. Another thing that Seth and I found out today that's a little bit exciting is that every day until they decide the winner, we can enter into a drawing to possibly go out to California and play the game in December, played completely by Ubisoft. So I will be entering us daily for that. Hopefully we can get that at some point. It's small hopes, but who knows? It'd be great.
Right.
We could go out there and have a great time.
Wonderful. There you go. Well, how about you, Seth? Do you have any new news, anything that's going on in your neck of the woods that you want to share?
Honestly, not really. It's funny though. Last time I was talking to someone about this podcast and a certain subject I may or might not talk about. I realized that in my life I have a few rants or complaints about society. Sounds so pessimistic. I don't know. No, but anyway, one thing I should guess I'll let you know is about me. I bike. I use my bicycle to travel a lot of places. And one of the things that I noticed that really just grinds my gears is when people don't use turn signals. It's like a basic part of driving. I mean, not doing it is just so dangerous. You're driving so. It's simple, yeah. I am like 150 pounds on this little bike, and I like a little warning when 3 tons of metal is just gonna suddenly move into my direction. I don't know. It's weird. I know. But I don't know. It's an interesting thing. It's an interesting phenomenon that happens. I noticed too that people, when you do use your turn signal, it's like when you're already in the. It's not a turning proclamation. I have turned.
You use it ahead of time. Let us know that it's happening.
Right.
It's like, literally a flick of the wrist.
So here's the thing. I'm driving this 3 tons of metal, and I'm gonna move this 3 tons of metal in an unexpected direction to you. What I'm gonna do is let you know about it. So here we go. Click, click, boop, boop, boop. I'm going that way. Now I'm turning because I'm orange. It's weird. I don't know. Yeah, it's the simple things in life that get to me.
Well, at least you have that.
Yeah, there's something. There's lots about all my complaints about my bike.
Okay, one quick thing here, guys. we are probably going to need to split you guys up because you guys are feedbacking really bad. Every time Seth talks, it's feedbacking really bad. So I'm only reason I'm saying this is so that those of you who are watching, you know that we're correcting this situation and we're going to fix it. But I think that Seth, or I think Steven needs to go upstairs. And he does that, and then once he does that, he'll be set in a position where it will be a place where I don't hear any feedback from you guys. So, well, Seth, let's talk about Inktober. While Steven's doing that, let's talk a little bit about Inktober and how it's gone for you, and what if you've seen anything really cool that's come out over the last couple of weeks. Let's talk about that a little bit.
It's it's been going well. I haven't been able to put out as much stuff as I would like, just because I've been kind of busy with work and whatnot. But I keep trying to do my little doodles while I'm at work. But I really like it just because it gets my brain thinking about certain projects or whatnot. But one thing that I've noticed is just it's a tool for people to kind of challenge themselves in just in a new way. There's this one artist I follow that I'm totally blanking on the name, but he has this really cool project where it's just a giant wall piece, really, and each day he fills in a little quadrant, and it's just one giant scene. So he's inking it little by little, and so it's really cool to see it progress and whatnot. Jake Parker, the instigator, the founder, whatnot. He is developed a graphic novel idea through it. Putting out character sketches and kind of developing this new idea. I think he's going to start a Kickstarter for it or something like that. But either way, it's he's kind of using this Inktober month as a way to get that off the ground, as a way to get that going. Then one thing I've seen from another artist is each day he's doing different creatures. Each is kind of going with a macabre feel,
right.
Which is really cool. So it's been like every month or like every year, it's really interesting to see what people turn out. And what they're doing.
Right. Well, hey, what's the and are you going on a certain theme at all? I mean, are you just kind of riffing whatever is on your mind at the moment?
Yeah, I am just kind of riffing. Really, like I said, I think if I had more of a schedule or a theme to it.
Right.
I may have, but like I said, work gets in the way. Blah blah blah. Excuses.
Excuses.
No, so I'm just riffing. I think next year, after seeing a lot of different artists challenge themselves in different ways, or kind of having more of a planned out focus. I think I'm gonna go for something, either have every day planned out for, I'm gonna draw this day, or do something more, like I said earlier, have a big project that I complete over time. Who knows?
Right.
I'll figure it out.
Okay.
But it's still going.
I'll help you, buddy. We'll get something going for you. We'll sit down and come up with something for every day of the month.
Yeah. You look like a real professional. Like a DJ, like you have your mic hanging in front of you now, like it's just right there.
It's because I'm sitting on the couch in comfort now because you guys banished me to the upstairs. So what I decided to do was sit very comfortably on the couch, and the mic is actually just here in my hand, as you can see. It's very nice. I feel ritzy almost. Like I feel like I'm on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, listening into Stephen Lovis. Hello.
Put your hand up by your ear and go, today. You look like you're like Walter Cronkite on location or something.
And we're back.
And we're back here today with James and Seth. Hi, how are you all doing today? I can hear you loud and clear upstairs in the upstairs.
Actually, this works out a lot better. The sound is so much better. It almost makes me wish that we could do this again. So, here's what I think we should do. Here's what I think we should do. I think what we should do is we should stop this now, call this a learning experience, and then restart it, and then we can talk about a couple of the other things, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us today on the Karmic Nerd Podcast, episode number 2. Episode 2.5 will be coming up in about 15 minutes. In episode 2.5, we're going to just talk about our favorite things in the world. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut out. We're going to join back up here. You'll probably see a link on our website and Facebook and Twitter and all the other fun places that we've got stuff, as well as the YouTube website as well. That's the Karmic Nerd Podcast. This is James Drake.
Seth Burton.
Stephen Lobus.
And we'll be back in about 15 minutes. We're going to have a couple slices of pizza, maybe have something to drink, and we'll go from there. Thanks a lot, guys.
Later, nerds.